Hello everyone, it's Kitaholic here. It's been a while since I made a video like this, like a really long time. Even though I haven't been doing Roblox live streams like I used to, I still play it every now and then, and I always feel the same about the current state of Roblox. The RDC held a couple weeks ago didn't help either. Now, most of the problems I find with Roblox now are still the same as the ones I mentioned in my Roblox Thesis from 2018, which I was 14 when I made, by the way. I won't be touching much on those issues since I already did, but in this video, I'm going to be talking about the effects Roblox has had on the average Roblox developer, rather than the player. Let's start by detailing my personal experience with developing on Roblox. I've been developing on Roblox for quite some time, and although it originally started as me just messing around as a kid, at some point I eventually started getting more serious about it. At first, I started testing the waters by putting some free models together and calling it a day, but as I learned more about developing, I started making games with real effort. Now, most of those games never saw the light of day, and at this point, probably never will. But there were a few that did, so let's talk about them. At the beginning of 2019, January 2nd to be precise, I watched a particular Kaneko Kitten video, where in the thumbnail he showed an old Roblox game meme. And I decided to make a Roblox game based off of that. Yeah, stupid, I know. But I was a huge fan of Kaneko back then, and I wanted to see if I could get noticed if I made a game like that. Originally, I called it Make a Child and Sell It, based off of the image that Kaneko used in his video. I was simply a 14-year-old making a joke game for some recognition from my favorite YouTuber. So the amount of effort I put into it was pretty much non-existent. I put some free models together and I was satisfied with that. I expected little to nothing, and for a while that's exactly what I got. Well, for about 3 days that is. On January 7th of 2019, Kaneko uploaded a video called Roblox Restaurants Make No Sense. And in the intro of the video, he played a bit of the game I made. It was nothing short of a miracle in my eyes. My favorite YouTuber had noticed me, and even though he had just noticed my horrible game developing skills, it was still an incredible moment to me. So from there, my Roblox game began to ebb and flow from nothing to something. Over time, I'd see a couple players, but other times, there'd be no one. But I was fine with that. In fact, I wanted it to stay that way. For a game I put no effort into, I didn't even want it to blow up, but that wasn't really something I had control over. After a while, I ended up making it to 100,000 visits. I thought that was way overkill, but I didn't mind it. I added a few things to the game and I called it an update to commemorate that milestone. At that point though, things were already out of my control. Just a few short months later, my visits skyrocketed to 1 million. I can't even begin to explain how it happened, but nevertheless, it did. Honestly, it wasn't something I was proud of. A stupid game I slapped together in an hour or two, being that popular. I felt bad for people who put genuine effort into their games just to not get a fraction of the recognition that I got. I realized at that paramount moment that effort doesn't equal success. I mean, I did already know that was true, but I had never actually experienced it myself. I wanted to make something real and impactful, and that game was nowhere near my full potential. But it wouldn't be until years later that I actually tried to make a Roblox game. Like, genuinely. That's the key word, though. Keyword is that I tried. It didn't go anywhere. In June of 2022, I decided to finally put myself to the test and make a Roblox game with real effort. I had recently graduated high school and I had a lot of time on my hands, so I thought, why not? Things were going well for a time until I started having developer's block. And that's when I started coming to the realization that this wasn't such a good endeavor. I started putting two and two together, realizing that even if I did finish this game, it probably wouldn't go anywhere. I began to see it as just a waste of time. I mean, just look at the state of Roblox as it is now. The front page is oversaturated with the same games. Some come and go, and some never leave. Of course, most of those that are even lucky enough to make it to the front page hit all of Roblox algorithm's sweet spots. Not all games, mind you, but most of the ones at the front page do this on purpose. They fill their games with every addicting mechanic they can manage to cram in. This is pretty appealing to most of Roblox's young player base, and it's pretty much a money printer for the developers who work on those games. I mean, we can't even blame them. Roblox is to blame. They allow this because it works in their favor as well. It's a win-win for them, and it's a lose-lose for us. It hurts devs and gamers alike who are looking for unique and diverse gameplay opportunities. So why did I bring up the 2 games I worked on in the first place? It's because they are near perfect representations of the 2 sides of developing on Roblox. On one hand, you've got the low-effort, money-printing game devs. These devs basically have a mentality that boils down to make a child and sell it. And I say low effort, but some of these games actually do have decent levels of effort put in. But the soul of their game is always just missing. And without that, I can't really call such a game high effort. Again, I don't really blame these guys. Good on them for knowing how to play the system to their favor. If that's taking advantage of children, then go ahead. That's on their probably non-existent conscience. Even with all the light shade I can throw their way, it's really not their fault. Roblox practically endorses this. If it were not them, someone else would. Then on the other hand, we have the high-effort, low-recognition game devs. The devs that are willing to put their heart and soul into their games, whether it makes money or not. Still, a game developer never really feels complete without some recognition. We, or at least I, develop games because I want others to experience the story or game design that inspired me to make said game. I believe that most other game developers in this category feel the same as I do. But a lot of us have come to realize that Roblox isn't really the place for this anymore. The effort goes in, and what do you have to show for it? So little to gain, but so much to lose. Most of the developers on here know this now, and they have moved on. And the ones that haven't probably are going to find out the hard way, similar to the way I did. Even the ones that do make it have to deal with their games getting blatantly ripped off and their popularity getting surpassed because of those soulless devs. 1 or 2 unique games make it to the front page per blue moon, and after that, you'll find about 40 other copies showing up in the next couple of days. I feel for the devs that get discouraged every time they see the front page. I mean, I do, and I don't even develop on Roblox anymore. You pretty much have to be either really lucky or have insane marketing skills, probably a combination of both, to make it there without selling your soul. And once you do, the pressure to do so gets way worse. Because if you don't, you'll be dealing with copycats who have no shame in selling out. So as I see it, gaining recognition through developing unique ideas on Roblox, it's just not viable. I guess there's still a measure of success to be found, and you can always feel free to give it a try at some point, but it's realistically never going to make it to the same levels as the front page games. I just find that to be so demeaning for aspiring developers. And it's really telling about the way Roblox works as a platform. At the end of the day, if your game isn't going to be printing money for them, they don't really want you around. They might try to hide it, but with all the odd company decisions they've been making lately, I feel it's getting all too obvious that they're just another greedy platform. If you still think Roblox cares about their players more than just making money, just look at how un-user-friendly the site has become. It's specifically tailored to be hard to navigate, to make it harder for games to be discovered, and to keep the money generators at the top of the charts. Ever since they got rid of sorting by genre, it's only gotten worse for aspiring game devs. They had no real reason to remove it, but they still did it for some reason. There's not a single reason to justify it that isn't them being greedy. They could be doing so much more to promote small devs with unique ideas, but they managed to get by with the bare minimum. I could go in depth on every single section on the front page and detail how they're all essentially useless and they're just there to give you the illusion of variety, but I don't want this video to be an hour long. It's really sad that Roblox has gone in this direction. They've added a lot of things I genuinely liked over the years, but what's the point of it all when it takes an hour to find a single game that doesn't require you to spend hours upon hours of grinding and tons of Robux to feel like you've made any progress? I just want to play some fun and unique games, and it's so hard to actually find something that meets those standards. But I do completely understand the dev struggle. I don't blame anyone who doesn't want to use this platform to make games anymore. In fact, that's basically what I've done. Anyway, before I end this video, I wanted to recognize a few Roblox devs / groups which I've found to make some really high quality games. And they definitely deserve more than what they've been getting. The first on the list, Banded Top Hat Games. They've made a couple of gems at this point. They have RBLXware, Battleboards, and Defend the Train. I've played all of these before, I've known about them for a while. They're all really high effort and definitely worth checking out. I believe Defend the Train is their current priority at the moment, and it's really shaping up to be quite something. Second on the list, Spilled Noodles. They're the ones behind Plates of Fate Remastered. It's decently popular. I really like it. It's a fan reboot of the old Plates of Fate games that got destroyed by hackers and inactive devs years back. It gets frequent updates and is, in my opinion, a better option than the other Plate games like Horrific Housing and Lab Experiment. I especially appreciate how little of the game is monetized, especially compared to the other two games I just mentioned. Third on the list is Vanilla Deluxe. This group has made quite a few games, but their most notable are Minus Descendants, Minus Elevation, and Mini Mega Factory. I used to love Minus Descendants when it first came out. I was obsessed with it. I would play it all the time in Roblox live streams, and then they kind of abandoned it to work on Minus Elevation, which it's fine. I still enjoy both, especially what they're doing with Minus Elevation. I really think they've got the whole unique ideas thing down. I haven't played much of Mini Mega Factory. It's not really my kind of game, but it definitely looks interesting, and they're all worth checking out. I would love to add more groups to this list, but the fact I don't know any others, it's just a testament to how hard it is to find these kind of high quality games anymore. If this video actually gets any recognition, I'll do my best to keep making videos to support small Roblox devs that are making quality games. I mean, if you happen to see this and you are a small Roblox dev, comment your username and I'll do my best to check out your work, and hopefully I'll be able to put you in a coming video. Anyway, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. I hope this taught you something about how terrible Roblox is. Bye!